On the 10th of March 1817, some 5,000 to 10,000 weavers, led by Samuel Drummond and John Bagley, met at St Peter's Field, Manchester, preparing to march to London. Their object was to present a petition to the Prince Regent, pleading for the government to do something to help their depressed trade. After the Riot Act was read, most were dispersed by the cavalry, but around 600 began their march, blankets on their backs for the long journey, earning them the name Blanketeers. They marched in groups of 10, the maximum allowed by law to present a petition. With habeas corpus suspended just a week earlier, they were taking no chances. The marchers also looked to history for precedents for their cause. As William Benbow reminded his fellow marchers, a blacksmith in the reign of Richard II went to London with 20,000 men and got their liberties, which remained until they were destroyed by tyranny. This was unintentionally a prophetic comparison to make, for just as the peasants' revolt Benbow was referring to ended badly for the peasants, the same can be said for the Blanketeers. Less than 10 miles into their journey at Stockport, about 200 of the marchers were arrested. Then at Macclesfield, now 20 miles into their journey to London, most of the others were chased off by the cavalry. In the end, only one of the marchers was allowed to present the weavers' petition, Abel Caldwell, and nothing came of the weavers' calls for help. Instead, 13 of the leaders were sent to prison. While the march of the Blanketeers was easily contained by the authorities, it had nevertheless rattled them. As a direct result of the march and other radical meetings taking place in and around Manchester, the town's magistrates created the Manchester and Salford Yeomanry, the force which would be put to deadly use just 2 years later, back at St Peter's Field.